Coming up on Cooking Crave, we have a breakfast episode that everybody in your family is sure to love. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne.
And we have two submitted recipes here that we have an egg bake sausage breakfast that anybody's gonna love.
Absolutely.
That likes breakfast. And that was submitted by Glendon Fulton. You're in a recipe chain, and this came all the way from Texas.
Yes.
So
yeah.
thinking this is gonna be a good recipe, so people are gonna wanna write this one down. And then we have Pear Muffins that was submitted by Rhonda Dukert.
Isn't that
So
great?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you want to go ahead and cook along with us, get out a piece of paper and pencil and write down the ingredients, and then you can cook along with us. For the egg bake and the sausage pull-aparts, you're going to need a 1/4 pound of bulk sausage, 6 slices of bacon chopped, 1 can of Grand's biscuits, 4 eggs, 1/2 to plus 1/4 cup green, red, yellow, and red bell peppers, 3 medium onions, green, and a cup of shredded cheese.
Yeah.
So
we want to make sure we specify the green onions and not 3 medium.
right. They have to be 3 green onions because there would be a little bit of a difference.
There would be. You'd have a lot of onion there.
There would be. And for the muffins, you're going to need this to make these along with us. 1.5 cups of flour, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 2 1/4 teaspoons baking powder, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a medium pear peeled, a large egg, 1/2 cup of plain yogurt or vanilla, whichever you have, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil.
That's not too
A
hard.
lot of basic ingredients.
It is.
All right, so where do we want to get started?
Well, we're going to start with our egg bake first.
Okay.
And you know what's nice with this egg bake, it's going to use the Grand biscuits. So this is one of the recipes, you know, most of them you do the night before and then put in, but if the last minute you decide you want to make a breakfast, here's a great egg bake for that.
Right. You don't have to let it set and
Absolutely.
get ready.
So we're going to come over here to the stove and we're going to cook our sausage and our bacon.
Okay.
So we'll put that in.
You just cut up your bacon with the
Yes,
sausage there.
I did. And, you know, the bulk sausage, I did pick that up at the workshop.
Okay.
I think they have one of the best, of course, the best bulk sausage.
Okay.
And, you know, it says like 4 to 6 slices of bacon. And again, that would depend upon the thickness. If you have the thinner bacon, make sure you know, I would definitely use the 6 slices.
Okay.
Or whatever. And it's not going to make a difference if you have a little bit more.
No.
'Cause who doesn't like that bacon and sausage flavor? So we're going to get this chopped up and get that cooking, and then we can go over and cut our biscuits up.
Okay.
So we'll just get that kind of a part here of the bacon and stuff, so
That won't take too long to cook up once it starts.
that's right. I'm going to just get a spatula, get some of that sausage off of this here so it all can cook. And we'll come back and we'll just chop it up a little bit more. And that. So we'll come over here, and what we do is we're going to put half of the biscuits, when we cut them up, half of it mixes in with the egg, and then the other half goes on top of the mixture and stuff.
So I need to spray the pan?
Yes, we got that there. Okay. All right. So we have that, and then we're going to go ahead and quarter them.
Okay.
And you know, we can just do that so we don't have, goes a little quicker. You know, with all of that, just bringing them apart.
Is the first layer go on the bottom?
Nope.
Okay.
We're going to put the half of it, like I said, in the egg mixture.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And then we're going to top that. So you can pull those apart. And with it's just 1 can of the Grand biscuits.
Okay.
I think if you just would happen to have the other biscuits on hand and not one of these, I think, if you wanted to just go ahead and use 2 of the smaller biscuits. But the Grand biscuits are a little flakier though too.
Okay.
It's going to make a little bit of difference in how that turns out.
That makes a little bit of a difference.
But I don't think it's going to really affect that flavor at all. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and whip up several eggs.
Okay.
And you want 4 large eggs. And if you don't have that, go ahead and use maybe 5, 6 of your medium or eggs. I don't think you can have too many in there.
Okay.
The gal that sent this to me, that Glenda, she had said she uses 5 to 6 eggs.
Okay.
But it's going to make a difference, like I said again, how big your eggs are. So I have, kind of average. They're nice size eggs, but I'm going to go ahead and put 5 in there.
Okay. Got some farm fresh eggs again.
Yeah, the only way to go, if you can.
If you can, that's right.
Oh. You don't hear too much anymore about that flu, that
The
chicken
bird flu.
So I think their eggs are getting to be a little bit more abundant again and not quite as costly. So you want to beat that up quite, pretty good here. Let's go over and just kind of mix this up here again.
Okay.
Doesn't take long for that to start. Because of, with the bacon in there too, you're going to have a little bit of a probably more greasy, so
right,
definitely you want to make sure you drain that.
Yeah, especially with the bacon, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's definitely cooking up pretty fast here.
That's not going to take too long.
And because of the sausage and the bacon, and then we have cheese in there, there really isn't going to be any other seasonings. It doesn't ask for salt. You certainly could put a little pepper in it, and that's optional.
Sure.
If you would
Well,
like.
depending on what kind of sausage you get, sometimes the sausage has pepper and seasonings for sure in them.
Your bulk sausage like this, it's a breakfast sausage, so it does have seasoning in it. And I think that's why, you don't want to overdo that. And it's so easy just to add that pepper when it's being served on the plate there.
Absolutely. Or if you want that little extra dash of salt.
Yeah. Like I said, your cheese has that salt, of course your bacon and all that. So, we just really got to watch and taste before we just start shaking.
Right.
And that. So we can see that's cooking up really pretty good here. So we're going to just go back over here again. And we got our eggs beaten well here. So we'll just put that aside here. And what I did here was, it says like 3 green onions or whatever. And I had the white onions. I just used a couple of tablespoons of the white onion and your green pepper, yellow, orange, and red, whatever you may have. So just put that in here. We're going to mix that.
Yeah, when you're cooking, you don't always have to follow the recipe to a T.
Absolutely. Things like that don't, a little bit more here or there. And same way with the meat. If you like it a little bit more meaty, add more.
Absolutely.
So we're going to put half of the pull-aparts in here. and just mix that up.
And when I think of pull-aparts, I always think of caramel, cinnamon, and sugar pull-aparts. So this will be different, but that looks wonderful, and I'm sure this is going to be an awesome recipe.
And we got the oven on it. We're going to bake it at 350.
Okay.
So that's nice. And it takes about 35 to 45 minutes, you know. You just kind of watch there.
Okay.
And let's see, we might just put a couple more in here and get that mixed up. And we're going to add the sausage in here to the meat and the bacon.
Okay.
And that before we pour that in there.
Sure.
So let's just come on over here and see, that's cooking up really good, and the bacon's frying nicely. And you know, the bacon I did have wasn't the real heavy, thick bacon. And that's so, I kind of like that because that's going to fry up, you know, almost about the same time sausage will.
Right.
Because if it's a little bit heavier, I may suggest just put your bacon in, cook, get that started, and then add the sausage, because that will take a little longer.
Okay.
And we can kind of see that there is a little bit of grease in there, and so we know we're going to have to drain that.
Okay.
Okay, this is about right where we want it to be. I turned the burner off.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and bring it over to the sink and put it in my strainer here that I have. And so we'll just get that in there.
Yeah, the bacon it does produce a lot of the grease, but I mean, the sausage is going to have a little bit naturally too.
It will, and that, but definitely most of it's going to come probably from your bacon. So, you know, if you're using a little extra bacon, you're definitely going to want that strained. So we'll just set that back over here, and I'm going to just push that a little bit through there to get most of that out. And so we're going to just go ahead and add it in here.
Okay.
And we just can't waste any of that bacon or sausage that's left here. And let's just toss that all together. I'll let you do that. And you know what I did here, because we just quartered the grand biscuits. For the topping, you know what I did? I took a knife and I just cut all of them again in half. Because when I'm putting it on the top, I want to be able to have enough to just make it nice and even.
Sure.
And stuff, so.
I think we got it good here.
Now we're going to put that in, and you want to, you know, you sprayed the pan, or our 9x13 dish here.
And this is such a pretty dish too. I know we've talked about that before, but when you're using so many different colors, it's not only going to taste good, but it looks good too.
It definitely is. So kind of to spread, you know, even out your biscuits here so that it all bakes, you know, nice and even, that you have the biscuits throughout the whole thing. So now we're going to just add these biscuits on top, just at random there. And like I say, you can just see how easy and quickly you can assemble this, so that, you know, like I said, if you decide at the last minute you want to treat your family to a you know, nice little brunch breakfast, there you go. So we're going to add about a cup of grated cheese on top here. Your cheddar, Colby, just whatever you like there, or you could use the sharp cheddar. You know, no matter what kind of cheese you have, you can't go wrong with. Okay, I'm sure I got a cup on that.
I'm sure you got just the right amount.
Yeah, okay. So we'll put it in the oven, and between it, being it says from 35 to 45 minutes, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it on 40 minutes, and I think that'll be pretty good. So we'll set the timer for that. And again, that was at 350.
Okay.
Now, the thing, we're going to come over here, and we're going to make our pear muffins.
All right.
And this was submitted by Rhonda Ducart, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to just use this bowl again, but I'm going to just rinse that out because I did use, the onion and mixture in there. So, okay, we're going to start making our pear muffins. All it asks for is 1 pear.
Okay.
But it says to peel them, so I'm going to just quickly peel that, and we'll chop that up pretty fine. And with pears, that skin isn't real heavy or thick. I would almost think that this is something that you wouldn't have to probably even peel too much or worry about a little bit on there. One thing I did learn just the other day, someone was saying that, your little stickers that you have that have the, like on bananas, the dough sticker or this, that it is actually edible.
Oh.
That they make it so that if somebody has that, it leaves
forget
it
to take it
off, that it's perfectly safe to eat. So
Interesting.
yeah, I thought that really was.
Because you have fruit on the counter, it's very easy for a child to come up and grab and just start eating.
That's right, so I thought that was pretty interesting and cool. So I'm going to just take those and put them in the garbage disposal there. And let's just cut this here. And we'll want to take out, of course, that. And then we're going to just chop that fairly fine.
Okay. Was that something I've seen? I don't know that I've seen recipes for pear muffins before.
I haven't. We have a recipe, and it's actually in our cookbook, is pear bread.
Okay.
That's
okay. I remember that
one
now.
of the ones we had early in the, in our cooking seasons or whatever.
Sure.
So let's just chop that.
Getting a little crazy there, Mom.
And I just using a Barlett pear here, and I think if you had one of the red ones or any of that, anyone would be just fine.
Sure.
And stuff. So we'll just scoot that over there and get that chopped up here. And and pears do brown pretty quickly, so you may not want to do this too far in advance.
Right.
So, when you're just making it, it's easy enough just to get that.
If it was multiple pears or you had half dozen maybe, then you might consider doing a little bit beforehand. But I know you
Absolutely.
usually put lemon juice on fruit that can brown easy and they don't tend to turn so fast.
Yes, absolutely, and that does make a difference, and it sure does work. So what we're going to do, I'm going to just add, we use 1 egg.
Okay.
So let's just put that in here, and there. And we need a 1/2 cup of oil.
Okay.
So we're going to put that in there. And it says a 1/2 cup of yogurt. It can be your plain yogurt or vanilla.
I got that pretty full.
Yeah, that. Whoop. We don't really want the measuring cup in there. We like color, but I don't know if that green would work that well. So this is, it's actually, what do I want to say, 5 ounces.
Okay.
And it pretty much is, that's our cup, 1/2 cup of yogurt. So might
be a tish more, but
a tablespoon more, but go ahead, use it, don't waste it. And that's, so any plain or vanilla yogurt you can use. And then I'm going to add the brown sugar in here, and it's a 1/2 cup of brown sugar.
okay.
So we're going to add that in with our wet ingredients and stuff. And it says a teaspoon of vanilla. And because I've got the liquid vanilla here, I'm going to just put a squirt in there, and that's a teaspoon of vanilla. So we're going to go ahead and just mix this up, and then from there we're going to go ahead and just use a spatula or a heavier spoon to mix it, because we don't want it overmixed.
Okay.
But you do want your dry ingredients mixed well. So
Your wet ingredients.
Oh, right, the wet ingredients, that's right.
Just so that they're well combined. Is that what we're going for here?
Yes. So I want to just get that here. And, you know, your brown sugar could be kind of considered a dry ingredient, yet, but you want it to blend well with your oil and your egg and all that, so. And then the other is seasonings that we're going to, or spices we're putting is cinnamon and ginger. So it's going to really, they're going to be really quite flavorful. And this we also do bake at 350.
Okay.
So we're going to be able to put it in the oven with our egg bake.
Perfect.
And you can have them.
They come out at the same time.
Absolutely. So now we're going to do 1.5 cups flour.
Okay.
And it asks for 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So we want to make sure that we have the baking powder. And that other little about half there. Okay. And the next teaspoon amount is going to be our cinnamon.
Okay.
So we can do that. And with our muffin pan here, you can either just kind of spray that, or I'm going to actually use muffin
It works so much easier to use the muffin papers.
And now it's 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
There's not too many I guess I don't cook as much as you, but do you use ginger a lot when you're baking?
You know, not too much, but yet there's certainly one of our favorites is the ginger snap cookies, and of course there, you know, you use quite a bit in there. But, or, you know, the season coming up for your pumpkin pies.
Oh, yes.
And that, so that has a lot of your spices, or you can just make it simple, and we may not need...
Two, we'll start with one?
We'll just start with one first.
Okay.
Because the 1.5 cups is not a, you know, a real big amount, and these are pretty good sized muffin pans here. So we just mix that till that's well blended like that, and then we're going to add our pears. So
it's a pretty thick mix. It's not runny by any means.
It's not. But a muffin mix usually is a little bit heavier than your, a cake mix.
Yep. And then it looks like we have a streusel or something that's going to go on top to make them just a little bit better.
Yes. We have 1/2 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts.
Okay.
And we chopped the walnuts pretty fine. And then I just blended that together, mixed it well so that when I'm putting it on top, they're going to be a nice, generous portion of each.
Sure.
And you're going to want to mix, just fill your muffin tins about 2/3 full. You don't want to overdo it and stuff, so that the streusel, you know, will stay on top of that. Now we're finding out that we need a few more muffin cups here and stuff, that's going to be a little bit fuller than I would like it to. So it looks like we got about 6 there, and that looks like that's going to be about the right amount here. So this, what we're getting here is 1.5 dozen, 18 of them. So I only have one more.
I count 17, but...
Oh.
See, I tricked you.
Oh, I thought we had 6, but okay. I think I told you that probably was enough, and you quit before I...
Because I made a nice pattern.
Looks good. Okay.
But I was right.
You were. You know, that's about right here. Even that out a little bit. And we'll go back into this one here. Now what we're going to do is just take a teaspoon here and put our topping on here. So if you would like, go ahead with that. And I think, you know, you
Do you
should be
push
able
it
to-
down into the muffin
a little bit, yes.
When you can't have too much of the good stuff on top, no, can you?
Well, I don't think so either. And that, so just, you know, even just pushing your spoon down right away too, just there, and we'll certainly. And with this one here, like I said, it was just 3 tablespoons of, you know, it says 3 to 4 tablespoons, you know, of your sugar and your walnuts and stuff, and that actually equals, you know, I think I said a half a cup, and it actually is a fourth.
Okay,
Excuse
of brown
me.
sugar.
You know, I say a half, then I say a fourth, and it's a third.
Well, see,
So, but it's something that if you have a half a cup, you're going to use it all up, or a third cup, and you know, this just was right on, wasn't it?
so did you use a half or a third?
I used a third. You know, and I did do that measuring when it said to, you know, it says 3 to 4 tablespoons, and 4 tablespoons is a third cup.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just easier, you know, I don't know why recipes don't say a third or a fourth, because it's easier just taking a measuring cup with the one instead of having to take your tablespoon and measure. So, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, I guess.
You can stick to that.
Okay, we're gonna come over here and put that in the oven. We have 23 minutes for the bacon, bacon, sausage, and breakfast bake.
Yes.
That's a lot to say.
It is.
Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and turn this around here, and we'll. What actually is going to happen, I'm going to be able to just put one pan in there, and we'll just set that aside and bake that later.
That sounds great.
Okay. So now we have to calculate, there's 22 minutes on there, that we may want to go ahead with, you know, checking them when the egg bake is done. And just
How
see
many
we-
minutes does the recipe say to bake them for?
That 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay.
So that
when the egg
probably-
bake, we might have to put in for a couple more minutes anyway.
Yeah, so we'll just see.
Okay.
So while that's baking, we'll be sitting back and just drooling a little
Just relaxing.
and relaxing. Yeah, have that cup of coffee.
You're right.
Okay. Okay. Well, it looks like the timer's gone off for our egg bake, and then we'll be able to check our muffins.
Okay.
So we'll just open that up, and
Egg bake looks awesome.
oh, that does. And you know, if I just that looks great. Let's double check our muffins also, and see if those are done. And those are definitely done to the touch. You see, it says 20 to 25 minutes, so we had that in 22 minutes, just perfect.
Okay.
So we'll bring this over here. Doesn't that look great?
It looks awesome. It smells wonderful.
Yeah, and we'll bring over our muffins there, and let's just put out a plate of muffins right there. Here's a
All right.
knife, you can go to the side. And with our, just looking for a spatula here. With this here, you don't have to leave it set up or anything like that. You can just dig into it right away. So
Okay.
we'll get a knife, and we're gonna cut a piece of that.
Well, sneaky muffin. Oh, you can just smell the cheeses and the other things that are
And you
in
know,
there, the vegetables.
All of that, that's gonna be really great. So, you know, I don't think you're gonna have too much of this left.
I don't think so.
You know, they'll be asking for seconds. Just get that cut here.
Oh, doesn't that look
That
good?
looked great.
So just pair that with a little bit of Pear Muffins.
You know, let's just both slices on there, and then we can really kind of show how nice and golden brown and that looks.
And to put some fresh fruit with this,
Oh,
wouldn't that just be wonderful?
It would be just.
Have some coffee and some orange juice, and
Oh.
you could just
Oh.
run a bed and breakfast, Mom. I really think you could.
Okay.
To get these recipes, just go to Consolidated's website, www.ctctel.com. Thank you always to the Workshop for being our sponsor, and thank you so much for the ladies that submitted these recipes, Rhonda and I forget her name again.
Oh, from Texas.
Mrs. from Texas. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Cooking Crave.